I loved watching your guys' journey here. I was worried about you there for a minute. Was glad that you made it home okay, but seemed like everything went smooth afterwards.
Yes,
We
yes,
were,
Ricky and Julian came and saved me, saved the day and got me home. So everything's been good since then. We got Randy sort of de-stinked a bit, got some of the stink off him.
That's
So
good.
it's
absolutely.
all good.
That's good. That's good. Well, awesome. Then I'll just jump right into it. Bubbles, your band started just as a solo act, performing in retirement homes. You made it big time, and now the Shitrockers are so famous. Do you ever miss the good old days when it was just you, a guitar, and getting plates of turkey?
Well, not really. I much prefer playing to people rather than, I like playing to the oldies, don't get me wrong, but a lot of them, they fall asleep and they drool and they piss themselves. It's
Mm,
much more fun to be in a place where young people are pissing themselves and falling asleep and from the liquor. So
sure.
I enjoy both aspects of it.
No, sure. I'm sure. Totally different, but man, it's cool to watch you guys take off like you did.
Yes, very exciting.
Mm, sure. Julian, it didn't take you very long to assert yourself as Bubbles band manager, and I've seen you operate so many different businesses in the past. Was this a difficult venture for you? Was it easier or harder than doing the good old hash driveway, for example?
This is way easier. I mean, it's basically making a few calls, right? I mean, there's
Mm,
a lot of planning, Bubs. I stay up all night thinking about what I have to do to market you properly, to find the
Jesus.
best venues, to pick out the route that you're going to take. A lot of work, but it's all legal work, which is pretty good. Well,
mm,
most of it.
mostly. Yeah, sure. Bubbles, are you happy with Julian as your manager? I mean, I know you've run your own shopping cart business before. Do you think he's doing a good job here?
Well, Julian's not the manager. He thinks he is, but he's actually not managing shit.
You talk to
I'm
your
the manager.
contract with me, Bubs.
I don't have a contract. I must have been drunk when I
Contract.
signed it.
Signed it. You signed it in front of a few people.
Was I drinking?
Well, you were on mushrooms.
Well,
Let's
then
not
there
put
you
that.
go.
That'll do it.
Legally defunct. Legally defunct.
Dull and void.
Yeah.
Null and void. That's right. I've seen it on Law and Order. You can't sign a thing on mushrooms.
I heard that's true too. Ricky, I gotta first of all compliment you on your scams there with playing the pan. You really know how to bang that thing. But can't help but notice you seemed a little jealous maybe that you didn't get to be in Bubbles' band. Were you annoyed that he didn't let you in?
Wasn't definitely not jealous. It was more that, I know it could have been so much better if I was in it. That's all. So, I mean, it's still pretty good, but it was definitely that sound missing. And
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was not missing the sound of a pot, especially not even playing on the beat properly.
I don't know, man. Look at that. That Def Leppard song wouldn't be the same without that cowbell.
That's a cowbell, Ricky, not an old pot from Canadian Tire.
It's true. It's true. But I would have loved to see you in there. I was wondering, Bubbles, if you had any regrets about not letting him in or if you stand by that decision.
No, I mean if he practices and we get him a nice electric pot with samples, different sounds around the rim, maybe he could be in the band, but just
That's
being right
important.
out of it on drugs and just hitting the pot, for the sake of it, that's not what being a shit rock is all about.
Mhm. Sure. Sure. Bubbles, since you didn't let Ricky in, you had a bunch of auditions. How do you feel like those went all said and done? Do you think you did make the right decisions for the band?
Well, yeah, I mean, there was, a lot of the people were just garbage. So, the people that could actually play the instruments were the ones I was left with. So I think it worked out
Yeah,
very well for me. Some great musicians there. Just had to weed through the shitty ones,
sure,
get to the end.
sure. I know you guys butted heads a little bit over there when you were in Europe, but I'm glad it all worked out for you.
Yeah, I mean, they turned out to be all right. I mean, they party a little too much and don't take things seriously enough, but it turned out pretty good in the end.
Sure, sure. No, totally. Randy, you were right there besides Bubbles, the whole rise and fall of the shit rockers. Which means you were also there at the prison when that whole riot was going down. Do you remember that? What was that like from your experience?
I pooped my pants actually when the riot happened because I mean, there's a lot of tough individuals. I knew some of those fellers that were in that prison, and it scared me. And I was just glad. Well, in the end, I think the song that you played, Bubs, it calmed them down a little, but they were still got a little violent on us, didn't they?
No, yeah, it was a full ride. I didn't know you shit yourself there, Randy.
Just
I didn't need to know you
it was just a little one though.
Which is okay. It happens, you know. Been there, done that. Um,
Yeah.
You know?
Bubbles, I know that not everything went like perfectly on the tour when you went overseas with Billy Bob Thornton. But looking back at the whole thing now, do you have any regrets about how it went? And you too, Randy. I know you were there and there were some mishaps, but do you guys feel bad about anything or are you pretty happy with how it all turned out?
Well, I mean, Randy could have been a better roadie and on top of things better, but when I think about it, if I didn't get electrocuted on the stage and kicked off the tour and then had to get Ricky and Julian to save me, we wouldn't have ended up at Abbey Road and we wouldn't have met Ronnie Wood and Duff and all those people.
Sure,
So I mean, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it for anything. It didn't feel great at the time, but look what we got to do. We went to Abbey Road, so I wouldn't change anything.
sure. No,
I feel great because I got to be a better roadie too, and I think I might learn a few more things because we might tour again, right, Bobs?
Randy, you're a shitty roadie. I'm sorry, bud. You're just not very good at it.
I can get better.
Well,
would you
maybe
give him another
Ricky and
chance?
Julian. Yeah, I mean, you can't even keep the arse in your pants.
did. But the guy from the Raincoat Academy sure liked them.
He made those pants. He bought a lot of nice stuff.
But he did.
Rick and Julian, you guys jumped on that plane real fast to fly over and save Bubbles when he needed you. And I know it wasn't a vacation or anything, but what'd you boys think of the place? Did you have fun over there?
I loved it. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, we've been there before, and it's wicked over there, man. A
It's
lot of
it's
pubs.
it's hard because I mean you grow up your whole life learning, you got to look left. Now all of a sudden you got to do the opposite. You got to look right. It's like you got to be really smart to live over there.
Yeah. A lot of changes, I'm sure.
You got to start drinking early because the pubs all close down pretty early, which is weird. So you
Yeah.
got to start early afternoon.
And plugs are different over there. They take a different plug.
They're stronger. Blew me right off my feet.
Yeah.
That's 240 volts, Ricky, straight to your arm.
110 is a joke.
Yeah.
Mm, sure. And Ricky, you didn't seem too terribly impressed when you did make it to Abbey Road Studios, but what was it like watching Bubbles up there perform like that? I mean, were you proud of your friend?
I was definitely proud of him. I mean, I don't know if he was worthy to be in that room, but it was definitely cool for him, and I'm glad I was able to make it happen because none of that would have happened without me.
Mm,
So it's good that I was such a good friend.
You were a good friend, Ricky, but you didn't have to, some of the things you didn't have to call Eddie Kramer the names you called him.
Well, he had a bit of
Jesus,
an
Murphy.
attitude. Sometimes you just got to put people in place, and then they become nice.
But he wasn't not nice to begin with.
You just give him the eye, Bubs.
it all worked out, Bubbles. They recorded the song and everything, so you can't be too mad.
No, no, I'm not mad. It's just like, Eddie Kramer's there trying to help and Ricky's calling him an old cunt.
Yeah, yeah, that did happen.
Okay, that was an accident.
It
Over
happened.
there, that's a compliment.
Randy, you met a couple different men while you were over there in Europe, but there was one kind of when you were at Abbey Road who seemed pretty interested in you, said he wanted to keep in contact and everything. Have you guys talked at all since you made it back home?
Yeah, I saw him over in London. We went over for a premiere in London, and we had a nice hug. And he's very handsome. He's got charisma
Mm,
and intelligent. And well, he said he might come visit in Sunnyvale.
Okay, there you go.
I think that's
Yeah,
And by charisma, Randy means free drugs. That's why he likes them.
a few different types that were very good, but he has nice stories, and he carries himself very well.
Mm. So you disappeared there for a while when you and Bubbles were trying to make your way home. How did you guys actually meet each other?
Well, I was just I was trying to make us some money because at that time I didn't know that Julie and Ricky were coming. But anyway, I just got sidetracked. I did make some money, Bubs. I was going to get us home. Don't you worry. I wouldn't have forgotten you.
Yeah. And then Randy got into a bar there and then got whisked away to the party.
Mm. And it all worked out. You all ended up together and made it. So I was glad to see that.
Yes.
Bubbles, I have to say that your song at the end, I really agreed with Billy Bob Thornton, where I thought it was really touching and a really good song. The Kitties are so nice. You played it so well, and it was so cool watching it. I'm just curious, have you been writing more songs since then? Did this spark something in you?
Well, yeah, because before I had the band, I made all the album covers. I made like 4 album covers, and all the song titles are there. So I have to get caught up. I have to write all of those songs now. So I'm going to get at that pretty soon.
Okay. Has it been going okay? Is it taking a while?
Yeah, I mean, I've been so busy, doing this type of stuff. But when this is over, I got to write like 36 songs in about 2 weeks. Yeah,
That's a lot.
it is. It's going to be a lot to do, but we'll get out Ricky's like top shelf hash maybe and see if we can crank out 36 songs in a couple weeks.
There- Do the rest of you boys help with the songwritings at all, or do you just leave that to Bubbles?
I got some ideas.
You stick to roadieing, Randy.
That's fair. That's fair. Just in general, you've made it back. How's life been in the trailer park since then? Has there been any new big developments happening for you guys?
No, we've just been focused.
Julian's got the camera guys coming back, don't you, Julian?
Amber guys are going to come back next spring.
Okay, there you go.
Movie, I believe, and then maybe another season in the park.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe.
Donnie's been in control,
Who
actually.
knows?
I'm getting calls about Donnie a few times a day. It's driving me freaking crazy.
There's a lot of people moving into the park too. I don't know. Made some questionable calls there.
It's a community, Ricky. They pay their lot fees, everyone. That's the thing.
Ricky, speaking of the cameras, I knew when you first saw him following Bubbles around again, you didn't look too terribly happy. Are you excited to have them back if they're coming back, or is that going to be more of a nuisance for you?
I'm not a big fan of the cameras. I mean, Julian likes to show off and be on TV, but for me, it's I'm more private, I guess. And then if you break the law and the cameras are filming it, then they can use it in court, which is not good. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd rather they didn't follow us around, but I guess I don't have a choice.
Sure, sure. Well, I'm excited to see whatever happens next. So,
Awesome.
yeah. I'm also just curious, have any of you boys heard from Billy Bob Thornton since you got back? Are you in contact with him at all?
Just talked to Billy yesterday, I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's doing great.
Yeah.
Not buying land or something.
Nice.
No, that's a show he's on, Ricky Landman. He's not actually buying land.
Sure. If he was to do another tour and ask if you want to go again with him, Bubbles, would you be interested?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, we'd go on a big tour with the Boxmasters. Probably Ricky and Julian will come this time. So, I mean, we could wind up dead, to be honest, with those guys there. But yeah, we would definitely do another tour with them.